This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. President Trump prepares for his first address to Congress. The investigation continues in a fatal plane crash in Riverside. A billionaire investor is sworn into office as U.S. Commerce Secretary.
Hello and welcome to Matador News. I am Melanie Rosales.
And I'm Tephanie Martinez. After 40 days in office, President Trump will make a televised speech to Congress to discuss his agenda for the year. Trump says he will speak truthfully on what he believes will benefit the country. Trump says he will touch on a military buildup, healthcare, and immigration.
It will include a historic increase in defense spending to rebuild the depleted military of the United States of America. We're getting some very, very bad players out of this country. Drug lords, gang members, heads of gangs, killers, murderers. We're getting them out. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Guess who will be attending the speech are relatives of Americans who were killed by undocumented immigrants. Democrats say they will bring immigrants who will suffer under Trump's policies and those who have benefited from the Affordable Health Care Act.
A federal judge will hear arguments against the Dakota Access Pipeline. U.S. District Judge James Bonesberg will listen to Sioux tribes who want to order the Army Corps of Engineers to stop the project. The Sioux argument against the pipeline is that the oil will taint their water supply, which their religious practices rely on. A stretch under the Missouri River is the last piece of construction for the DAPL Energy Transfer Partner, says the pipeline could operate as early as Monday and no later than April.
Now let's go to Matador News reporter Karine Hafuta for the latest news on the EPA.
Thank you so much, Tephanie. President Trump says he wants to cut money from the EPA and the Department of State. Tens of billions of dollars will reportedly go to military spending. Trump says his budget will protect Social Security and Medicare from losing their funding. CSUN Political Science professor Kaseem Nabulsi says states might not be affected by the budget cuts.
My sense is that the president is going to have a challenge in Congress for approving all of what he wants. And we don't know yet the details of the proposal. We need to listen to his speech tonight to see how exactly he's intending to do all of these things.
Annual military spending is already at $600 billion, while EPA and state are budgeted at $50 billion. The exact amount Trump wants to cut from the EPA and State Department and the Department of State is still unknown. Trump will be proposing his ideas to Congress tonight. Now back to Melanie in the studio for more news.
Two Southern California Jewish centers received bomb threats around the same time this morning. A Jewish center and school in Irvine received a call of a bombing threat, making the center evacuate about 1,000 people. The Anti-Defamation League says there have been more than 90 reports of threats since the beginning of the year. California is one of at least 12 states that have had similar threats targeting Jewish centers. The Anti-Defamation League is asking Trump administration to help investigate.
Investigators say there were no victims on the ground in yesterday's fatal Riverside plane crash. This countered initial reports that said that one victim was a resident. The small plane crashed into two houses in a residential neighborhood next to the airport that left 3 people dead and 2 injured. Investigators have found the victim had been ejected from the plane. The victims were flying to San Jose after a cheerleading competition at Disneyland.
The San Fernando Valley is seeing a string of burglaries. The LAPD says burglaries spiked in its Devonshire division, which includes Porter Ranch, Chatsworth, and Granada Hills. A man reportedly caught some burglars sneaking into his house with a surveillance camera last month. The video catches them looking into a house to check if anyone is home. After seeing the camera, they entered the home and stole $100,000 in valuables. Homeowners in the area say this has become a trend and want the burglars caught.
SpaceX is giving 2 tourists the opportunity to take a round trip to the moon. CEO Allan Musk says the 2 passengers have been identified and would be announced in late 2008. This will be the first time inexperienced flyers will take a trip to the moon. Musk says SpaceX will invest about $100 million into this launch for both passengers. NASA helped finance the spacecraft development of the project.
A Mardi Gras parade in Alabama has been canceled after a van hit 11 members of a band as they were getting ready to march. The band members were from Gulf Shore High School Band. They're in critical condition. Officials say the vehicle was part of the parade and was driven by an elderly man. One eyewitness says the van just plowed into the crowd.
It's horrible. Anybody out there, any faith whatsoever, please pray for our kids here in Gulf Shores.
City spokesperson Grant Brown says the incident was nothing more than a horrible accident.
SAMHSA's main representative, Lee J. Young, is being charged with bribery and other charges. Lee was arrested earlier this month and had been in custody since then. 4 other SAMHSA executives have also been charged with bribery. The scandal had brought thousands of South Koreans to protest and has prompted lawmakers to call for impeachment of the president. SAMHSA says one of the charged executives is resigning and plans to shut down its corporate strategy office where some of these indicated executives worked.
Now here is Kaylee Fagan for the latest in business news.
Thank you. Billionaire investor Wilbur Ross has sworn in U.S. Secretary of Commerce Ross is to become a dominant voice in Trump's economic team. He is expected to start working on renegotiating trade relationships with China and Mexico. Renegotiating the North American Free Trade Agreement is Ross's top priority. The U.S. Senate voted in Ross by a vote of 72 to 27 yesterday with the support of Democrats. Netflix employees have been personally affected by Trump's travel ban attempt. CEO Reed Hastings says he has both Iranian and Iraqi workers who are unable to return to the U.S. from their home countries. Hastings is an outspoken critic of the executive order that Trump plans to revive later this week. Netflix is among dozens of tech companies that oppose the ban, citing it will curb innovation. Now let's go to Allan Medina with the latest in health news.
NFL Hall of Fame running back Tony Dorsett says he's having more bad days than good days since being diagnosed with chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, in 2013. Dorsett played in the NFL for 12 seasons and is 9th all-time for rushing yards. A recent study found in Subway's chicken does not contain 100% real chicken. Canadian researchers from Trent University analyzed chicken DNA from 6 fast food restaurants. Subway scored a surprisingly low. The lab conducted additional tests on Subway oven-roasted chicken sandwich and sweet onion chicken teriyaki. Both sandwiches contain almost 50% DNA, chicken DNA. The rest of the DNA comes from soy. With National Eating Disorder Awareness Week winding down, here is Matador News reporter Serafina Maulupe to give us an insight on campus involvement.
The community activist group Proud to Be Me is recognizing National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. CSUN activist member Alyssa Gallette says the group is promoting positive body image.
So Proud to Be Me is in association with NEDA, which is National Eating Disorders Association, and we're specifically proud to be me on campus. We're working to promote healthy body image and self-esteem, especially among college students.
CSUN student Allan Manning says exposing photoshopped images in magazines is good for our community.
The lies of every magazine, though, you just pass by them every day. It's good to bring it out in the open.
Proud to Be Me says 3 in 10 CSUN students have admitted they have had an eating disorder. The group has made it their mission to educate college students on the influence of the media. Now let's go back to Kealani for entertainment news.
Thank you, Serafina. The trending topic of last week's Oscars has mainly focused on what many are calling Envelope Gate. The envelope mix-up for Best Picture caused confusion as the cast of La La Land took to the stage to accept the win. This mistake has overshadowed the true winner, Moonlight, a Black film that addresses LGBTQ issues. The unique production opens conversations about sexuality and identity problems within the African American community. The film also won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay and Supporting Actor Mahershala Ali. Comedy Central will host its first comedy festival named Colossal Cluster Fest in San Francisco. The event will take place June 2nd through the 4th at Civic Center Plaza near City Hall. Comedians Kevin Hart, Jerry Seinfeld, and Bill Burr are among those expected to headline the event. Tickets for the 3-day event go on sale this Thursday morning at 10. And now let's toss back to Allan with the latest in sports.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have locked down their offensive weapons this offseason. Wide receiver Antonio Brown was second in the NFL for receptions and touchdowns. He signed a 4-year extension for $72 million. The Steelers also franchise-tagged running back Le'Veon Bell, who was in the top 5 in the league for running yards, for more than $12 million. The New York Knicks played the Toronto Raptors last night in a thriller that featured last-second shots from both teams. Raptors' DeMar DeRozan sealed the victory with a game-winning shot with 1.9 seconds left in the game from his 12 points in the fourth quarter. Knicks' Carmelo Anthony missed a wide-open winning shot in the last seconds. The league-leading Golden State Warriors managed to beat the Philadelphia 76ers 119-108, even with Steph Curry's 11 missed threes. Warriors' Kevin Durant led the team with 27 points. Paul George, the Indiana Pacers, beat James Harden's Houston Rockets 117-108. Pacers guard Jeff Teague led the team with 25 points. Harden also had 25 points in the loss after coming back in the fourth quarter, but the Pacers pulled away in the final minutes of the game. Defending champs Cleveland Cavaliers ended their impressive month of February beating the Milwaukee Bucks last night 102-95, improving their record this month to 9-2. The Atlanta Hawks still managed to beat the Boston Celtics by 16 points, 114-98, after center Dwight Howard was ejected from the game in the third quarter after getting his second tech for hanging on the rim. The Minnesota Vikings have decided not to go with their franchise-leading running back, Adrian Peterson's contract option for 2017. Peterson, who was plagued with injuries this past season, only played in 3 games. The former 2012 NFL MVP was a Viking for 10 years. He will be a free agent this upcoming March. Peterson is 16th all-time in rushing yards. Now let's go back to Melanie for our forecast is looking like.
It is 56 degrees in LA right now. It will be sunny for the week as temperatures will be in the 70s. Clouds will come in the weekend and will be in the 60s. Thank you for watching Matador News. I am Melanie Rosales.
I'm Tephanie Martinez.
I'm Allan Medina.
And I'm Kaylee Fagan.